Martin Kieran here with Southwest Boxing Media in association with Bricks and Streetwear. Delighted to be joined here with Miss Bec Connolly for the second interview now of our time together. Bec, how on earth are you in this new year of ours? And I'm assuming, obviously, with all these sort of New Year's resolutions, people want to lose weight. The PT book must be chock-a-block.
Do you know what? It's actually not at all. It's done the complete opposite this year. I think everyone's so worried about COVID now. Like, everyone started dropping like flies over Christmas. They just haven't come back really. But I have to say, from a work point of view, I've got the fight lined up in February, so I'm not panicking. Yeah.
It must be you're working them too hard, Bec, I reckon. That's what it must be. They're trying to come back.
That's it.
I mean, speaking of training as well, Bec, have you had much time off over Christmas? I can just imagine you being somebody doing sort of press-ups and sit-ups in between the Christmas dinner and the Christmas pudding. Am I right?
Christmas wine. Yeah. I have to say, yeah, I had a manic December at home. Loads of stuff happened in December, just one thing after another. So I kept training throughout. I didn't ever stop training, but I have been eating like a little piggy and drinking to my heart's content. So January has been a bit of a shock to the system, in all fairness.
I mean, what's that like now, Bec? Obviously, you must be sort of you in camp now. Obviously, at the moment for next month, sort of fight in York for MTK. Is that where you're at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's 3 weeks this Friday. I think it's 3 weeks this Friday or 4. No, it is 3 weeks, isn't it? 11th February. 3 weeks this Friday. So, that's how good camp's going.
I mean, on all serious, how is camp going? Are you feeling good? Is it going well? You know.
Yeah, do you know what? Since the fight in Italy, I've just got a totally different mindset, really. And yeah, I am feeling really good about it. We've had some really good girls coming up for sparring, which is nice that they're travelling to us, because it's usually me like running around everywhere. And yeah, I've got a new coach, Dan. Happened accidentally because obviously I went out on my own before. And we've just really clicked. I really like the guy. He's real old school like I am. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight, really. Yeah.
Good. And I mean, how did that link up come about, Bec? And is it nice, from time to time just to delve into, a new regime with a new trainer, fresh ideas, fresh approach to things?
Absolutely. I mean, so the history, like I was with Paddy for the best part of the decade, and then lockdown happened. He decided he wasn't going to do pro boxing anymore. So then I went to the lovely Mike in Malmesbury. But I mean, I won't go into my private life, but it was so chaotic outside of boxing that I was forever like being pulled out of the gym for this, that and the other. And it just got to the point where I couldn't commit what he needed me to commit with the distance to drive each day to the gym all the way over there, because it was like a couple of hours travel each day. And I just thought, you know what, I can't do this to this guy and to myself anymore. So after the Ali fight, I just said, I don't know what the future holds, but I know I can't carry this on. But as I say, he was a wicked coach. It wasn't anything to do with his coaching. And then Craig stepped in, who's a local MMA fighter, to help me out, because I got given the Bridges fight and I didn't have a coach or anything. So I was like, oh, thank you. His coach, Dan, because he's a professional MMA fighter, so he'd been taking me into his gym during the Bridges camp. So afterwards, he was like, well, you kind of like put Bec in front of me kind of thing. So then... Yeah, so it's kind of worked from that, really. He was like, well, she's in the gym now. And yeah, I get on really well with the guy. We had our first fight together in Rome in November the 5th. And I couldn't have asked for more, really. It was just perfect. He's no nonsense. He's straight talking. He's got a wealth of experience. He was a world champ himself. Like, I trusted him completely, and it just gelled straight away. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one being in the kickboxing gym, but I'm learning loads of new footwork, which I didn't really have any footwork before. So hopefully that will come out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's just, like you say, like you get stuck in your own ways. Like Paddy's a world-class coach. Like, I couldn't have had a better schooling if I'd have tried. Everything was on me, not on the coaching. And I'd be a fool not to. That's my foundations, and they're there. But it's brought the fun back into training as well. Like, I'm not going over the same stuff. I'm like, for the first time, I'm doing stuff for the first time, and I'm excited to get to training in the morning again, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We know, obviously, you know, you're somebody who always keeps yourself fit and active and healthy. I mean, when did you first hear about this and get offered this fight, Bec? Just tell us.
I think it was just before Christmas, I think. That was it. I know how this came about. Because I got my puppy. I just got the lovely Martha. She's asleep at the moment. I'll get her up in this.
Can the puppy make an appearance? No.
She's so lush. She breaks my heart just looking at her. I love her so much. But I got her from MTK's Lee. So I mentioned at the time when I went to collect the puppy, and that I said, I am looking to fight again. And he said, I'll keep you in mind if I get anything. And and then Al phoned and he said, do you want this one? I was like, hell yeah, we'd definitely do that. Because there's loads of fights that I'd like this year. I just have a good feeling about 2022. I know I say that every year. I've got a good feeling about every year.
It's going to be my year this year. 2022 is going to be my year.
No, we're not going to make statements. We're just going to slide in, go calmly, quietly, don't touch anything, like sneak our way into 2022. But
I got to say as well, Bec, speaking of Lee there, he's like Del Boy, isn't he? I mean, doing deals on puppies in between sorting out fights as well. I love it.
He'd be giving Gavin Quinn one as well, wouldn't he, next?
Oh, my son's just got the puppy in case.
We're going to meet the little girl.
Gotta get it.
This is the lovely Martha.
Look how cute.
She is. We're training her up to be a gym dog at the moment.
She's beautiful, she is.
She is lovely, aren't you? You going to say hi? I've turned into one of those really annoying dog mums.
Is she well behaved around the house, Bec, or no?
Pardon?
Is she well behaved around the house, or is she chewing indoors? She's
so good. The only thing I can't do is get her to wee outside.
Oh, really? Pads, Bec. Get the puppy pads in, flip the back door. That's what I did with mine.
She goes out, like I take her, obviously I take her for real long walks, and she'll hold it for her whole walk so that she can wait till she gets into it. Oh my God. But yeah, she's really bizarre. Like, I have a lot of hot Epsom baths after training or at lunchtime when I get in between training sessions. And I mean, they're hot baths to get the magnesium and the salts in. And she just like barks until you let her in. So she is a hot bubble bath fan.
The cleanest dog in England, I think.
I love it. I'm a real clean freak. So I'm like, thank God for this.
Well, moving on, Bec, anyway, from my lovely dog down to something more serious. Your next opponent, I mean, Nina Hughes, we know she was sort of in the GB setup. I mean, do you know much about her? What are you expecting?
No, not loads and loads. I knew of her from Team GB before. As far as I know, she's a classic, nice, straight puncher. Does everything very, very well, clean.
Like your dog?
Yeah, typical. Yeah. Oh, I didn't make that comparison.
Sorry.
You'll get me in real trouble.
Cleanliness I was talking about. Sorry, Nina.
But yeah, so we're just expecting a real good scrap, a nice classic fighter. But I don't really. There's nothing anyone can do at this stage in the game that is going to be like, unless she bites me or something like that. Whoa. there's nothing they can pull out the bag that we haven't dealt with. There's nothing that's going to shock me, or it would be nice to think you know what's coming towards you and you know what's going to happen. As far as I know, she's a nice come forward fighter, but again, like, I've got enough experience now that if she does sit back and wants to box on the outside, it's not going to be like, there's only so many ways you can fight, isn't there?
Is that what the Instagram post was about, when you said expect fireworks? You're just going to go in and do what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. You can expect, like, you can expect a real class fight from anyone in Team GB. Like, it goes as standard, doesn't it? Like it's not a case of fighting a debutee that hasn't got that background. She's got a good schooling and a good history, and it's going to be a good fight. And York Hall's one of them, isn't it? It's like, it's fun to go to York Hall.
Definitely. I mean, in your opinion, Bec, you've said obviously, you're in a good place and how good you're feeling at the moment. In your opinion, do any opportunities come knocking with the win, or is it simply just a case of, another fight, being back on another big show in front of a crowd and putting on a performance, doing something you love?
Oh, absolutely. If I get the performance, that's all I ever care about. I mean, I wasn't myself during the Bridges fight. That wasn't my performance. But I think last time in Rome, I performed as best I could under the circumstances. I'm going in to win. Like, a win would set me up nicely for this year, and it put me straight back in the mix. And I've already said, like, I'd love the Shannon Courtenay fight, because she's lost her belts now, isn't she? So that, I think potentially, if she's going to carry on and she wants to get back to those belts, she should go back through the ranks like everyone else has to and get past me first. So I would really like that fight. But yeah, there's loads of good opportunities. I mean, Carly Skelly's just been given a massive opportunity, hasn't she? Like, it's there for the taking for all of us. I think I'm like TV friendly. I do what I say on the tin. Like, you're not going to get a walkover ever. So yeah, hopefully 2022 is going to be the turnaround year. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling like I've got a whole new skill set for this fight. Like, I do feel good about that. I'm definitely feeling a lot more confident than this time last year. So
I mean, sort of speaking of, boxing is one of those sports, there's so many ups and downs. I mean, from your point of view, have you ever sort of fallen out of love with it, or maybe has sort of your love for it dwindled in certain sort of parts and sort of time, or have you always just wanted to do it?
No, I think when your tickets there, like, they tell you how much you're going to have to ticket sell in the first like 10 fights and everything, and it is heartbreaking because sometimes you're working your ass off and then you've got to pay the opponent, the house fees, everything else, and it's far from professional. Like, far from that. And then you're cutting weight, your opponent's changed 10 times, and sometimes I was like making a loss fighting, and you're like, how is this a job? Like, oh god. Now it's a lot better because I'm willing to fight like the best girls in the world. Like, so I do get paid to do that. But that comes with having ruined your record and everything else. But I just think the experience is far, far greater than if I just kept taking on Eastern European girls.
I mean, you'd want to look back when you retire and think, oh, I fought for that world title, I fought this, rather than
did everything I possibly could.
Yeah, then fought some obviously random, Ukrainian women fighters that no one will ever remember.
Yeah, 100%. And as I say, like, a 6-week camp is ideal, but as long as I get a 3 weeks notice, it's like the last minute stuff. I'm thinking, as bad as it sounds, like, so many people are testing positive for COVID at the moment. So as long as February the 11th goes well, if I get a win there, and it does set me up for other opportunities, but I'll also be fight ready, won't I? So I'll be able to step in and I'll be able to help out. Like I wouldn't have been able to in January after Christmas, because I'd have been like, oh, I won't make those skills.
Heavyweight fight? No.
Yeah. It's at 85. I'm your gal.
Now, Becca, during this camp as well, we saw you put on your socials, that you're offering sort of an access all areas, sort of look into the training and life of Lady Luck. I mean, for those who don't know, can you tell us a little bit more about it? Yeah,
so at the moment, don't worry if you have subscribed, it's all coming. I'm not very technically minded, so I'm having to get my friend to upload the stuff. So it will all come. It might just all come in one go at the end of the month. But yeah, just to look into the nutrition, what the training's like, and then the weight loss really from start of the camp, because everyone's like, how do you lose 2 stone like that? And you do see it daily because you get on the scales every morning. So hopefully that'll go right through to the scales. But as I say, I need my friend to upload it because I'm not all I can work is Instagram and Facebook, and that's as technically minded as I am. I very rarely go on Twitter, and they keep trying to hack my Twitter, and I'm just like, oh, what are you doing?
That reminds me of somebody else I know quite well, Bec, to be honest, not very technically minded.
That's me all over, Bec. You're not alone, but don't worry, it's me all over as well.
I'm like pressing the buttons, I'm like, oh. But I make the little clips each day, so they're all ready to go.
So obviously, when your friend does do this and gets things uploaded, just tell people again how they can, get involved and get access to these things. Just remind people, for those that don't know.
If you go onto my Instagram, there's in the profile bit, there's a link that you can sign up on in the profile bit. And as far as I know, you just click on that and then press subscribe, and then I think you pay then. But yeah, that's about as much as I can tell you, I'm afraid. But yeah, no, definitely get involved.
There we are, viewers. You have been told. Make sure you get on that. Definitely.
Perfect.
Link in the bio. Click on the link. Click a job and subscribe. Boosh.
I think it's like OnlyFans Lady Luck Fighting or something like that. It's very simple. The thing generated it for me.
Okay, Vic. So February, obviously you're fighting Miss Hughes. Prediction, is it just a win, or are you going for, knockout? What are you hoping for?
I'm just hoping that I would love to be able to walk away from it knowing that I was able to demonstrate all Dan's work, the stuff that he's been doing with me, and pull some of that off. But yeah, I just feel really good about this fight, to be honest. I am definitely going for the win. My engine's come back nicely this year. I think you can only go through so much stress in life, I think, because I have had a lot going on outside of the ring, and it got to the point where before Rome, that's why I took Rome with 1 day's notice, because we were actually given like a 4-week camp for that, and I had to turn it down because I just had this really horrific thing happening outside of work. And I was like, my body I think when stress affects your physical health, because I'm really, really active, like you say, a really healthy person, and suddenly I couldn't run, I couldn't do anything, and I was like, oh, this is time to, I had no choice but to step back. And yeah, I know my health does help the situation, because within 3 weeks I'm saying, well, we've got a day, let's take the fight. They're quick, but yeah, it was one of them. I was like, stress has got to come down, and I'm just feeling like everything about boxing is positive for me. Enjoy it, just go out and enjoy it. You'll bet, sometimes I put a little bit too much pressure on myself, get a bit too and I'm stopping doing that now. It's like, what you do a good job, you do a good job at home, you do a good job here, don't be so hard on yourself, just go out and have some fun. So that's my aim now, and make some money, because it's really I wasn't working for those 3 months from October to January whilst I sorted everything, and obviously that has taken a massive hit on the finances, that there are none.
Especially just for Christmas as well.
Oh, I know. And then I'm not the most responsible of people either, because my coach Dan was like, well, at least we took this fight, at least you can pay everything over Christmas now. And everyone's looking at me and they were like, what did you do? I was like, bought a puppy. I was like, it's for my mental well-being, it's good, it will help me train harder.
Exactly.
You only live once, right?
Exactly. Spot on, Bec. Spot on. Bec, obviously, while we're talking to you, I just want to ask you your thoughts on a bit of other women's boxing news as well. We saw, I think it was yesterday, that Terry Harper announced she's going to be moving and debuting at 135 pounds. Just tell us, I can tell by your reaction, do you think that's the right move now for Terry?
I'm assuming they would not have moved her if she was not able to make that weight healthy. But Heather Hardy is one of my heroes. Heather Hardy is probably one of the reasons I turned over, and I was so excited when I saw that. But I love the woman. I think brilliant. So yeah, I'm dead excited to see that fight. And like, she's had a rough ride of it during COVID and everything else. So this is her like proving to everyone as well. I just think it's going to be spectacular. Like,
and as you said,
it's
a very, very good fight to step into straight away. You know, she's a former world champion, Heather Hardy. It's a challenge from the off, really, isn't it?
Oh, huge. Did you see a room with Amanda Serrano? Like, I know like Amanda's like next level of everyone, but I think it's going to be a tough fight for Terry. Really, really tough. But then Terry's got a lot to prove now, so she's going to come out the best she's ever been as well. I just think it's got fireworks all over it. I got very excited, put it straight in the group chat yesterday. I was
like, oh speaking of Amanda Serrano, do you think that if the Taylor fight happens, which obviously is not confirmed yet, but I think it has to happen, do you think it's going to be Katie's hardest fight?
Yes, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Like,
do you think it's a proper 50-50, or maybe you're edging towards Amanda, or what do you think about that one?
I mean, I'm obviously a massive Taylor fan. I do think if we just had to go about the fighters as they are right now, then Amanda has the edge. But I also know like Kate wants her legacy, and like she is. You say people are 100% committed, but boxing is her, isn't it? Like she is the epitome of it. And yeah, that would be the ultimate win for her. So again, another firework fight. But Serrano is just like something else, isn't she? Like she doesn't even look like she breaks a sweat as well.
I mean, is that pay-per-view for you, Bec? I think is that a proper pay-per-view, about for you?
100%, yeah, definitely. What good for? I mean, women's boxing is flying, isn't it? I know we said it last year, but it's just like taking off all over the shop.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, just finally, Bec, just before we let you go, just to go and have a bath with our puppy viewers. Just got to ask you, from a boxing fan's point of view, 2022 looks like another great year again ahead for boxing. If we had to ask you 3 fights, maybe they've already been named, I don't know. But if you had to pick 3 fights that you'd like to see in 2022, women's boxing, men's boxing, what are you going for?
Well, Terry and Heather Hardy is definitely up there. I'd like to see Jonah get another shot. I'd like, who's got it's Callie Reese that's fighting for it soon, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I'd love to see Jonas go. She deserves it. I think that was a fantastic performance last time, or even the rematch would be good to see. And then myself and Shannon Courtenay would be great.
Have there been has there been any back and forth or any conversation between you both, Bec? Just to know.
No, I'm starting the conversation.
You're starting one now, you go for it.
I think this is the tagline, my jerky.
Definitely,
this is it.
Well, if they're going back in that way, I mean, I'm trying to think who's in the division, because obviously Courtenay's staying featherweight, isn't she? And then I guess Skelly and Mitchell is for the world title, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think Mitchell's like a proper badass, isn't she? Like proper badass. Yeah, exciting times. But yeah, I'll fight any of them in the division at all. But definitely got my eye on the ones that I would particularly like.
Well, Bec, on behalf of myself and Kieran at Southwest Boxing Media and Bristol Street, where we really appreciate your time again, jumping on with us. I mean, we for your sake, but we really do hope that 2022 is going to be the year of Lady Luck. Let's go.
I hope so. I'd just like to leave my mark before I get out of it. That'd be great.
Well, thanks so much, and we'll catch up again sooner when you get the fight with Shannon.
Thank
And,
you.
we're only going to take 10% of the purse if it happens as well. So, you can't go wrong, can you?
You get it. You can have it.
Just before we go as well, just before we go, I'm gonna get on to the messages now to Lee then and say you recommended him for selling these puppies. So I'm gonna get straight on to it now.
Oh, they're beautiful. Absolutely the best thing that's ever happened to me. She is wonderful. I love her.
But Bec, thanks so much for your time. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bec.